Steve's Physics channel. I'm Steve, and today we're going to be doing a problem very similar to the last in this series, but in this case we have a 10 kilogram block is attached over a pulley to a 4 kilogram blue block, and it's sitting on a table where there is friction. The question is, we want to find the acceleration of the blue block during this whole situation. So go ahead, pause the video, try it by yourself, and when you're ready, I'll show you how I did it. To solve this, first thing I did was I wanted to write out all the variables that I know. So in this case, I know the mass of each of the blocks, I know the coefficient of friction, and I know the acceleration due to gravity. Next, I wanted to draw out a force diagram for each of the two blocks. So I'll start with the green one because it's simpler, because we only have gravity pulling down and we have the force of tension from the rope pulling it up. And I wrote the little red arrow down because we know that it's probably going to be moving down, so I'm going to say that that is the positive direction. For the blue block, it's a little more complicated. We still have gravity pulling down, and we still have the normal force from the table pushing up, and we also have the force of tension pulling it off the side of the table, and in this case we also have friction pulling against the force of tension. And again, we assume that it's going to be moving in the same direction as the tension, so I'm going to name that as the positive direction. So the next step is to write out Newton's second law equations for each of the different directions for the two blocks. I'll start with the blue block, and in the horizontal x direction we know we have the force of tension as the positive, and opposing that we have the force of friction, so that we'll say that is negative. So we'll set that equal to mass times acceleration. The next equation I'll set up is the blue in the vertical direction, and in this case we know that the sum of the forces should equal 0, so I'll just set the two forces that there are equal to each other. We have the normal force going up, and we have the force of gravity pulling down. And now for the green block, we only have forces in the vertical direction, and those forces are gravity pulling downward, and subtracted from that is the force of tension pulling upward, and that's going to be equal to mass of the green block times acceleration. Next, we want to solve for the force of tension in both equations, and then we want to set them equal to each other. And when we do that, we get this big long equation that looks really complicated, and all we have to do is just do a little algebra to solve for the acceleration. And when we do that, we find that the acceleration is equal to the mass of the green block times the acceleration of gravity minus the force of friction, all divided by the total mass of the green and the blue block together. And we know all of those variables, so all we have to do is plug that in, and then when we do, we find that the acceleration is equal to 5.936 meters per second squared. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. If you do have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. If you like this video and it helped, please like and subscribe to my channel for more content just like it. And until next time, you have a good day.